Welcome everyone. So let's give everybody a few seconds to pile in, and we will get right to our subject. And our subject is, there is proof that Bill Barr, the former AG, is behind the Fani Willis Trump RICO case. Now, day before yesterday, I watched Professor Nez interview Trevion Kutti. She's one of the co-defendants in the Trump RICO case. She said that Patrice, and I'm probably going to butcher her last name, Lillis, Lelias, is a whistleblower. She's living in Mexico. She's has political asylum there. Hold on. Hold on, let me fix it. There. Is that better? Okay, we have quite a barn burner today. Um, okay, there. Is that all fixed? Um, let's start again. Okay, everybody knows about the Fani Willis Trump RICO case, right? One of the co-defendants is a young lady named Trevion Kutti, spelled Kutti. She was on Professor Nez's show over the weekend, and she said that a whistleblower has come forward to her that has proof that Bill Barr is behind the Trump RICO case in Georgia. So, and she said that this guy named, her name is spelled Kutti, Trevion. She's a very pretty young lady. Anyhow, the proof that this other young lady has is that Armstrong Williams used his connection and was contacted by Bill Barr, and Bill Barr helped Fani Willis bring the case against Trump. So today, Professor Nez had Armstrong Williams on, and he did not try to defend himself or say it wasn't true. Right away, he called out Patrice and said, she's crazy, she's a liar, she's guilty of defrauding others. Well, that is not true. There is a pending case against her in D.C. for defrauding. She has been charged, but then she received political asylum in Mexico, and the case was never brought to trial. So Armstrong started saying she was crazy and that she's a hacker. She's a journalist. So Professor Nez did the right thing. He said, you're sitting here calling her crazy, accusing her of all this stuff. He says, I have her available. I can bring her up and you can confront her. And Armstrong said, no, I will not let you blindside me like that. I'm out of here. And he left. So Patrice came on, and Patrice told the truth. Patrice told how that the FBI showed up at her house in Mexico and tried to basically kidnap her and bring her back to the US. And she had to call the Mexican authorities, and the Mexican authorities made the FBI agent in charge tell them who he was talking to, and said that he could not be on the phone with someone unless he put it on speakerphone so that everyone in the room could hear who he was talking to. And the Mexican police made the FBI leave. And so Armstrong Williams said that she's crazy. He's never met Bill Barr. And so Professor Nez is talking to Patrice and says, what proof do you have that Armstrong has met Bill Barr? She says, I have pictures. And she showed pictures of her and Armstrong Williams standing talking to Bill Barr. And we need to pray for her safety, because this is some very serious stuff. you know. And Trevion said on Saturday that she is going to give Patrice's information to Kash Patel, and we just need to pray for her safety, Patrice, because if the FBI will just show up at her door in Mexico and try and basically kidnap her and bring her back to the U.S., demanding that she give them all of her computers, everything that she has, and she had to call the Mexican authorities, and the Mexican authorities came and told him, look, you have no jurisdiction here. Told him they had to leave because they had no jurisdiction in Mexico. She said they were going to try to put her in the car and take her to the airport and forcibly bring her to the U.S., which is just crazy. Her name is Patrice Lillis, I think that's how it's pronounced, Lelias. Now, if you Google her name, there will be some charges show up from South America and stuff. And she said that the South American government charged her, but she's never been taken to trial. Yes, I hope she gets protection. But I was glad that she's in Mexico, and the Mexican federales have told her if they show up again, call us and we will come and make them leave. And Ben Carson is involved. Armstrong Williams was friends with Ben Carson, and Armstrong Williams got Ben Carson to give him information that he fed to Bill Barr. And some of it I've heard is classified information. So Ben Carson may be in trouble. But it wasn't that he did it on purpose. You know what I mean? He was duped. Yeah, this young lady's a journalist, and I thought it was funny that Armstrong Williams was trying to say that she's a hacker, that she hacked into his computer system. She said she had to hire a computer expert to set up her computer in Mexico. If she was a hacker, she would have been able to do that herself. Am I right? She would have been able to do that all by herself. She wouldn't have had to hire someone. And it just made no sense. The things that Armstrong was saying about her, that she was crazy and she needs to be locked up, put in an insane asylum forever. And so Professor Nez asked her if she had any mental deficiencies. And she said no. She said, I even went to the doctor and I have the doctor's letter saying that I have no mental deficiencies at all. The only thing I have is a little bit of anxiety. And anxiety is not a mental disorder. So I had to share this with y'all because I never liked Bill Barr. He just, there was something fishy because he was Attorney General under Bush. And then he retired, and then suddenly he comes out of retirement to go to work for Trump. Attorney generals don't do that. Once they retire, they go off and they teach at a law school, and that's it. They don't go back into public service. They don't do that. And so when Trevion said that there is proof that it was Bill Barr that was behind the Fani Willis RICO case against Trump, I started looking into it. And also, Patrice just said that she has proof, right, to work against Trump, not for him. Patrice just said she has proof that there was 4 burner phones provided by Bill Barr. One went to Judge Merchan, one went to Fani, one went to Armstrong, and one went to somebody else in DC. She has all of that proof. She has screenshots that she took of the burner phones with the contact information, and she said she gave all of that information to her attorney. This is something that our next administration really needs to look into, because you have a former attorney general basically colluding against the president. Isn't that treason? Doesn't that fall under treason, or would that be considered sedition? This whole thing just blew up in the last hour. I like Professor Nez. I'm a member on his channel. You know, he does his due diligence. He's a rare breed. He's a Republican in California. And we need to keep Trevion in our prayers too, because Professor Nez asked her if she needed protection, and she said, I have the protection of the Almighty God. With him on my side, I have no enemies. Today he did a good job. He wasn't interruptive. He let Armstrong speak, but Armstrong was just calling Patrice crazy, and that she was guilty of defrauding others and this and that, and just really slandering her. So Professor Nez told him, he said, look, I have Patrice here. She can come on and you can tell her to her face that you think she's crazy. And Armstrong would not do it. Armstrong would not stay on the air if Patrice was going to be there. He said, "No, you're not going to blindside me like that." And Professor Nez told him, he said, "Look, you're accusing this young lady of being crazy. You're maligning her. She has a right to speak out and tell her story." And Armstrong cut the feed, cut his mic. So Professor Nez brought on Patrice, and I found her to be very credible. A bit nervous because, after all, if the FBI showed up at your door in another country and tried to take you by force and put you in the car, I think you'd be nervous too. Yeah. But I was glad to hear her say that the Mexican federales are on her side. She has their protection. If anyone shows up, she has a armband that she pushes a button and they come to her aid, which I didn't know that kind of thing existed, but I'm glad that they have that and that they've given it to her because she's a beautiful young lady. And she needs our prayers. She was just very honest, answered any questions that Professor Nez asked her. Showed a text change between her and Armstrong where he told her to mail a envelope to guess who? Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC. So Armstrong Williams is going around saying that he's this big conservative voice, and then he's in bed with the Democrats, sending packages to Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC, who's a Democrat. I just think that I just thought there has to be something else to this lawfare against Trump. I just, from the whole summer, while all of this was going on, I kept saying, there's got to be more to this. Somebody has to know something. And lo and behold, there's a lot more to it. Yeah. I watched Professor Nez. He has unique perspectives because he's a conservative Republican in blue California. And there's some others that I watch. But I had to share this with y'all because this this blows the lid off of the whole Fani Willis connection of her saying that she had no connections with Washington, and come to find out, sorry Zach, I have not been feeling good today. Come to find out, there's connections between Fani Willis and Bill Barr, the former AG. So that's interesting, and there's going to be more come out on this in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, JR. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be there. Take care. I'm going to get off of here. We've covered a lot today. Talk to y'all soon. Bye now.